Are the Rockets legit?
They are. They deserve credit. Maybe this is the best way to describe them. I'm sure Mars won't disagree with this as our resident Rockets fan. I think that the Rockets have the second highest floor in the Western Conference, and I think that matters among a year where other teams are showing that their floor is much lower. Their ceiling is a lot higher, but their floor is a lot lower. Mars, would you say that's a good assessment of your team? Is that because of their defense, offensive rebounding, the prowess of Steven Adams, respectfully, and others? Do you think that is a good way to describe your team?
Yeah, I actually do. Yeah, I think we might not have the highest ceiling, and I think that comes down to limitations offensively that we can talk about. But I think just the non-negotiables and the things that we bring every night, I think you know what you're going to get. And that's something that I don't think is true for every other team in the league. You know you're going to get a potent defense that's extremely versatile. And you know you're going to get a physical game, and you know you're going to get a team that dominates the possession battle, whether that be by limiting their own turnovers, forcing you into turnovers, and then obviously the offensive rebounds. So when you start with a baseline of we're going to win the offensive rebounding battle 90% of the time, we're going to win the possession battle 95% of the time, and we're probably going to be the better defensive team 85% of the time, you give yourself a chance. And I think that's why Houston don't get blown out that much. I think that's a big reason. That's, to me, is the biggest reason why Houston don't get blown out that much. We don't blow out teams that often. We've actually done that more lately, but we've been playing some bad teams. But we don't get blown out that much, I think, because of how high our floor is. So it's just hard to beat us by a significant margin. But I do think the ceiling is limited. But I'm at the point where, as everyone knows, I've been saying I want Memphis in the playoffs. I think Memphis is a team we can beat, but I haven't been ultimately very high on how many teams I would pick us against in a playoff series on here anyway. I don't know the answer to how I feel about Houston right now, but what I do know is most measures of success, Houston seemed to be doing quite good in all of those measures, whether that be net rating, whether that be defensive rating, whether that be records against 500 teams, whether that be records against the Western Conference.
No,
all of those metrics, all of those measures that have been used to measure how good teams are in the past, Houston ranked very highly in all of them, very highly in all of them. I know we have the third best record against the West, I think, only behind OKC and the Lakers. We have the second best record against 500 teams in the West, only behind OKC. We have a top 5 defense for sure. I don't know where we actually rank in defense. We are third right now. We have a top 5 defense. We're 12th in offense. Now, there's some caveats to that. And we're one of the best teams, maybe only behind OKC.
Whoa. Stay right there, Mars. What's the caveat for being the 12th best offense in the game? I'm listening.
That we are a very bad half-court offense statistically, but I also think there's nuance to that as well. So Houston's offense as a whole is very nuanced, and I think we could have that discussion. But I would love to have that discussion.
Yeah, I would love to have that discussion. The reason why I would like to have that discussion, the reason why I want to have that discussion, Mars, is because all season long, you are the epitome of buy low, sell high, and you've been selling very low on your Houston Rockets all season long. All season long, Mars.
What do you want me to say? I feel like I'm being very fair with what I'm saying right now.
I do. I 100% believe that you're being very fair. However, Mars, I do feel like you've undersold your boys. And the reason why I feel like you've undersold your boys in the aspect of defense, here's what I'm thinking, Mars. I feel like when you get to the playoffs, there's things that you can control in terms of a series in the playoffs. And if you have an elite defense, you can 100% control in a series. And I feel like the Houston Rockets, I feel like
yes, elite defense. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean it just depends on matchups, though. I feel like this is what
there is no matchup with the Houston Rockets.
Well, I personally, I do think there are every team has matchups they struggle with. I think that
who's the team, Swiper?
For Houston,
you better not say it.
No, he's going to say it. It's fine.
They might see each other in 2-7, so we'll find out very soon.
Is he talking about Denver?
Yes.
Well, yeah. Well, I wasn't bringing up Denver.
Our record against Denver has been very favorable the last 2 years.
I wasn't bringing up Denver. Ron went there.
We're 9-0 against the Warriors, so it's not a real matchup. We're 6-2 against Denver.
I haven't brought up Denver, just to be clear. But they just played and Jamal Murray cooked y'all respectfully. But then we'll see on Sunday. We'll see this weekend. They play again this weekend, and Denver has to play now because they
we don't have to play now. We don't have to play because you know
Right,
what?
exactly.
We handle business early.
No, I know, I agree. That's why you have I think the second highest floor. I think on the other end, I think the Warriors would be an interesting matchup, come playoff time, 100%. I think the Warriors would be a very interesting matchup for that team.
I hate to step in and interrupt this intense yap session that you're currently watching, but I just have to inform you on all the amazing, spectacular, fabulous, endless ways to play and win over at Prize Picks. Basketball fans, I know the season is just tipping off. Yes, I know this. But you know what that means? It means that you have an opportunity to pick your favorite players and their matchups that are the most thrilling, and you can win money from these. With Prize Picks, you can play daily NBA contests and test your hoop knowledge by choosing the player projections and every single stat line imaginable to make your Prize Picks and take home some nice hard-earned cash. Are you a rookie in the game? Don't even sweat it. I got the playbook for you right here. All you have to do is download Prize Picks, use promo code PANEL, and you will get $50 instantly when you play 5 here with Prize Picks. So what are you waiting for? Download Prize Picks, use promo code PANEL, and join me as we break down all of our amazing daily picks right here on the panel. Prize Picks. Run your game, control your game, win your game. It's easy, baby. It's easy.
But who's the one team you were talking about, though?
Well, I think the Warriors. I still think OKC. Obviously, I mean that's just
Obviously, yeah. That goes without saying.
I even think the Lakers. I think the Lakers have advantages over Houston in the series. I think as good as Amen Thompson is. Okay, there's only one of him. You know what I mean? And then there's LeBron and Reeves and whatever else. Respect Dylan Brooks. He's really good too.
No.
Who?
Yes.
All right. Respectfully. I'm taking
Fred
names.
VanVleet?
The Houston Rockets have
smartest defender ever.
The Houston Rockets have the ability. The Houston Rockets have the ability to control a series with their defense.
I don't think so.
And the reason why is because their point of attack defender, Amen Thompson, causes a lot of trouble.
Yeah, they got one of him. Yeah.
Okay, they do have one of him, but
I mean, Happen may be the best point of attack defender in the
No. Respect.
I don't know what to tell you.
No, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. We just had a discussion last week, and we all agreed what I'm in, and then now we're switching.
I was making the argument it wasn't Dyson. No one agreed it wasn't.
No respect. It's definitely not Dyson Daniels, but we forgot about that.
The point that I'm making is that what Amen Thompson does resonates throughout the rest of the crew with Dylan, right? With Jabari Smith, with Tari, and if they can keep games like yesterday. Now, I'm not going to say that they're holding teams to under 120, whatever. But if we get into a playoff series, they have the kind of defense where you can muck the series up and hold the team to 105, 100. And when you get into a series like that, I like the Houston Rockets because I feel like they have enough offense and their defense can control the rest of the series. I love that about them. I don't see a team running up.
But the Clippers have an elite defense too, and they have a better offense.
And I'm glad you brought that up. Houston's defense is better than them.
Well, respectfully,
Houston's defense is better than theirs.
I think our defense is more versatile.
Yes,
I personally, I don't think they're in the same class. Whatever the conversation is, who's a smidge, budge, whatever. But I think they're in the same class, respectfully. They got a better interior defense. That's for sure.
Yeah,
they got Zubac. I won't argue that part.
Zoo is an amazing rim protector. But I think the Clippers are just more limited in terms of what they can do defensively. So in a playoff setting, when we're talking about matchups, I do think the Rockets are more matchup proof defensively because I think I'm not saying the Rockets can stop every team in the NBA. I don't think that's the case. But what I'm saying is there's things that, we're talking about now. Like last night alone, we had units where we would have Şengün out there as the lone big, and then we would have Amen, Tari, Dylan. Then we would have units where we have Şengün and Steven Adams out there. Then we would have units where we have no big out there with Jabari, and we're switching everything. That's when one game we've gone to 3 different lineups that play defense completely differently. Like the fact that we could do that, the fact that we have that level of versatility. The Clippers don't have that level of versatility.
No, they don't.
But what they do have is that their defensive scheme and their personnel, the way they do play defense, that might be that their best defensive lineup might be better than the Rockets' best defensive lineup. What they can't do is be malleable the way
Chris Dunn, DJJ, Zubac, Kawhi Leonard, and probably James Harden.
That's better than.
It might be because of Zoo's pure rim protection.
But then they still got Kawhi and James Harden off for the offense.
And then you got Kawhi's hands, and then DJJ can card wings and stuff. So they might have the better defensive line. The issue is once you start going to the versatility and certain
Playoff
matchups-
Kawhi though, if he's healthy like this.
Yeah, but
how many
the
minutes
Clippers
is that
only
gonna
have one
play
big.
together?
Like I'm gonna keep saying that. That's my biggest issue with the Clippers. They only have one big, so
And
like
Sure.
they don't have the level of versatility that Houston has. Which
You know,
is why I
Kawhi's
think-
playing the 5.
I think
at some
I
point.
think the Rockets are a better defense than the Clippers. I think the Rockets are a better defense.
I
don't
do.
think
I
it's
100%. I do because I feel like
I mean,
on-
it's close,
I'm
obviously, but
comfortable
I'm-
taking Houston.
Yeah, I'm
like,
extremely.
I am
close.
too.
I'm fine saying it's close, but I'm comfortable taking Houston.
I mean, you talk about Swiper is a stickler for Chris Dunn. Who else defends on a wing like Chris Dunn? I mean, Kawhi Leonard is not what
DJJ
he
is been a really good
He's
defender
good,
this year.
but he's not.
He's not what he's
Yeah,
not.
but
what
he's
Chris
not.
Dunn is.
We're just not like there's like
And
4 or
Chris
5
Dunn
Chris's
isn't what I'm
this
in
year.
top-
The Rockets have 3 defenders on the perimeter better than Derrick.
100%. They got 3 of them.
Amen.
And
Tari
Amen,
and Dylan.
Tari and Dylan. And they're more versatile. They're more
Fred?
switchable.
Who?
No, we're not doing that, Ron. No,
All
we're
right.
not.
Who'd he say?
I'm gonna stop. I'm
He
gonna
said
stop.
Fred.
I'm
I
gonna
actually
stop.
don't know
Fred,
who he
go.
said.
He said Fred. No, we're not doing that.
Okay.
No, we're not going to do that. But
Maybe it's maybe IQ wise, but you know, ability.
when you talk about being when you talk about being switchable, and to Mars's point, with that crew, Dylan Brooks can guard the 3. He can guard the 4. Jabari can get on the glass and also guard the 5. Now, he might not be great at guarding the 5, but he can guard the 5. And he can guard
What's
the-
Fred VanVleet guarding?
I like
I can-
Jabari on certain fives.
Right, on certain 5. And I can tell you what I do like. I like Jabari guarding. I like Jabari guarding 4 or 5s more than I like Zubac having to guard in space and having to guard on the perimeter like 3s and 4s. I like Jabari having to do that more.
What I will say this too.
Let's go back to the idea of versatility.
But
And-
I think Şengün, you know, he hasn't had like great games like lately consistently.
He was
But I
great.
like how Şengün's been attacking. Like I personally do. Like I like that if
He's
he's
been
trying to
aggressive
force
for
the
sure.
issue.
He's been
Like
aggressive.
he's trying to make something happen. That spin dunk that he had versus what was that OKC? Over on Chet?
OKC on Chet. Yep. Mm-hmm.
He's a lot more athletic than people realize. Like, and so he's been playing well.
Weird. That's why it just looks weird.
Well, he's just
It's because
huge.
he's European. It's because
Yeah, it looks
respect. That's
weird.
not-
But I'm not arguing his
Shout out all my
athleticism,
Turks
because
out there.
I do think
Love
that
you.
I do think he's great as an athlete. I just think it looks weird because it kind of looks a little gangly because of how.
But they deserve crazy respect. I
Crazy
believe this. Trust me,
respect.
I believe that. I believe Steph Curry used all of his shooting luck 2 days prior versus Denver.
There's no
Because
such thing as shooting luck with Steph
Well,
Curry.
there is shooting luck because he didn't do any of that.
Steph Curry is not shooting luck.
He didn't do any of that.
Whoa.
He
Rewind.
made a half
Chill.
court.
No. He looked like 2020. I have respect. I mean, genuinely mean this. I have not seen him shoot that well versus Denver since April of 2022. I'm talking about he was coming off of like bink, turn around
not
and
luck.
it's still in the air. Turn
That's
around
not
and it's
luck.
still in the air.
Does that, it's
And
not luck.
but not all the time this year. It's not live out this year. In
When
April,
Steph does it, it's not luck. When
in
Steph does
April
it-
of this year, he's done that. He's done that, but like 4 games. But like, bro, come on now.
Swiper, if anything,
It's 7
the
days into
Rockets got
April.
lucky.
He's done it in 4 games. What do you mean?
You think the
If
Rockets got lucky?
anything, the Rockets got lucky. It's more. We're more liable for Steph to do what he did against you guys than for him to do what he did against the
Yeah,
Rockets.
but
Well, 'cause
also
I'm in
played-
Thompson
we
respect.
played really good defense and stuff.
Yeah, I'm in Thompson.
Over this weekend, we held Shea and held Steph. Well, Amen. I'm gonna be honest. Amen held Shea and held Steph.
Hey man, not all Kentucky guards are built for that pressure. That's all I'm saying.
Nah, I'm just-
See,
okay.
yo,
I'm
yo,
just saying that he making that all defensive case real strong. I think he got to be on there.
I want to
First
dive
team,
into both
yeah.
games though. Let's start with the game yesterday and what happened with Steph Curry. Obviously, Steph Curry only had 3 points. He went 1
On a
of 10
heave,
from
by
the
the way.
field.
Yeah, the only shot he made was that half court heave.
He did have 8 assists though. But aside from that, you guys basically locked the Warriors down and shut their water
Except
off.
Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield decided to make some shots. But yeah.
He got a lot of the shots that he got was off
Hey
the
Ron,
defense,
that's
like in transition. He
an
didn't
Arcus
really get a
super
lot-
chat for you right there.
He didn't get a lot. He didn't get a lot of stuff in the half court offense. So with that being said, right? With that being said, I thought Amen did a great job. Steph Curry is so good if his off-ball action using screens. I don't think people talk much about Steph Curry's ability to use screens. And he's so good at that. And Amen Thompson, I feel like, did a great job at navigating screens last night.
He was face guarding it. He wouldn't let him get into the screen.
I felt like he did a great job in beating Curry to those screens where Curry had to now misdirect and go a different way, and that throws him off of his.
And chill, is that
And
the
on
best
top of that-
athlete that he's seen? Like a guard, like a non-LeBron athlete that he's seen, like guard him like that?
No, I mean Kawhi Leonard was pretty
Yeah, no, man, Thompson.
Yeah,
No,
but he
I'm
didn't
not
have
saying
that.
it
He
has
didn't have that like.
Um,
Cause he's like Gumbo. Like I don't know if y'all know who Gumbo is, but like that's what Ben Thompson remind me of. He just is mad long, jumps high as crap. He honestly is like scary. Like you know what I mean. Like if you just saw him running at you in the middle of the street and he just started like leaping at you with long arms, he's strong. Like I don't know if he's seen like a legit
Gumbo, by the way?
athlete like that.
Is Gumbo like an anime thing?
Yeah, no, Gumbo is just like it's like a little cartoon figure. Like
I
he's
thought
super
Gumbo was
long. Yeah,
Gumbo is 100%
no,
food, Mars. Yes, it
no,
is.
Gummy, no, Gummy.
That's
Gumbo's a cartoon.
Gumbo is 100%
It's
food.
like Gummy. It's
And Curry was food last night. If
Cartoon
we're being
character.
honest with you, Curry was food last night.
Yeah, but that's usual, bro. I mean, that's they who else you gonna attack? Like who else you gonna attack?
Buddy Hield.
Yes, Buddy Hield is food too.
We attacked Buddy Hield when he was in the game.
I just think, Mars, that with this Houston Rocket team that you've been underselling all year long because you don't want to gas them, because it sounds to me like you're worried that you don't want to be wrong about them. You've been underselling this team. This team has the ability to get into a playoff series and change the landscape defensively and possibly win going deep into the playoffs with their defense. Kind of like what Detroit did. I ain't saying that they're going to win the NBA championship, but kind of like what Detroit did where their staple was their defense, and all we need is a little bit of points. It's kind of Swiper. You're a football guy.
What year?
In 2000, in 2004. Swiper, you're a football guy. Remember Warren Sapp would say, "Yo, you give me 20 points, I'll make it stick." That's kind of what's going on with the Houston Rockets. Like, yo, give me 105, we'll make it stick. Give me 110, we'll make that stick. And I feel like that with their defense, they have enough where there's nothing that's overwhelming them. I don't think the Clippers overwhelm them in terms of their offense because I feel like with their versatility, they can handle the Clippers. The team that I am thinking about is I am thinking about Denver off the strength that they got Joker. And when you got the best player in the league, it's pretty difficult, especially the way he plays, to slow him down and slow the rest of those guys down. That's really difficult to do. So, but this Houston team, Miles, they're gonna be trouble in the playoffs. I would not be surprised with the way that they play defense. I would not be surprised if I saw them in the semifinal, if I saw them in the Western Conference Finals, just off the strength of their defense.
I would be shocked. I would be shocked.
It's the player choice way. Yeah, them boys don't get it started. The player choice way. Yeah, the player choice way. Come and switch lanes into the player choice way.